Hi guys, welcome back to Opportunity Nanny. Today we are going to be looking at the Danish government scholarship at the University of Copenhagen. We'll call it UCPH, short form. Now, the Danish government scholarship offers a limited number of tuition waivers and grants through the Danish government scholarship program. The scholarships are competitive and are offered to highly talented students with outstanding academic records from non-EU EEU countries. All non-EU applicants offered admission will automatically be considered for this scholarship. So there's no separate application for this scholarship. Just apply for admission and you'll be automatically considered for this scholarship. Now, this scholarship is granted either as a full or partial tuition fee waiver or as an amount that covers basic living costs. Now let's read more about the scholarship. Let's see the eligibility requirement. In order to be eligible for this scholarship, you must be a citizen of a country outside the EU or EEA or Switzerland. You must be admitted to a master's degree program at the University of Copenhagen. You must be granted a time-limited resident permit for the purpose of studying a higher educational program in Denmark. You are not eligible for this scholarship if you have a legal claim to the right of Danish citizens, if you are eligible for a grant in accordance with Danish law regarding the state educational grant and loan scheme, if you have been granted a resident permit at the time of admission, you are not eligible for this scholarship. Now, how is this scholarship awarded? The university awards the scholarship solely on the basis of academic achievements, so financial need is not considered. Now, all non-EU applicants to the University of Copenhagen for master's degree program will automatically be considered for this Danish government scholarship as far as you are eligible for the scholarship. So, as I said before, you do not have to apply for a separate application. Now, UCPH will contact those that get nominated through the dance application portal. If you are offered a scholarship but do not accept it within the deadline specified, the scholarship offer will be revoked. The scholarship will be offered to another applicant. So you have to check and make sure that when you are offered the scholarship, look at the deadline and for when you can accept or reject the scholarship, and make sure you accept the scholarship if you are interested within that deadline. If not, this scholarship will be revoked and be given to another applicant. So let's look at the faculty specific conditions. So now different faculty that are applying to have different specific conditions for meeting the scholarship. So we'll look at the Faculty of Social Science. Now, the Faculty of Social Science has only a very limited number of Danish government scholarships available. It's usually 2 to 3 per year. Now, this scholarship can only be awarded for September intake. So the thing with most Danish universities is that they have February intake, they have September intake, but this scholarship is only going to be awarded in connection with September intake. If you are offered admission to one of the faculty's degree program, the offer of admission will either contain the information that you have been awarded a scholarship or that you are required to pay tuition fee. So if you get your offer of admission, you will know at once whether you have been awarded a scholarship or you have not been awarded a scholarship. If it contains the information that you must pay tuition fee, it means that you have not been granted a scholarship. So that's the one for Faculty of Social Science. Let me look at the one for Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences. Now, the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences also have a very limited number of scholarships to award to non-EU students. Now, the scholarship for the Faculty of Health and Medical Science is in two different ways. Now, it can be granted to cover both tuition fee and living expenses, or it can be granted to cover just tuition fee. Now, as I said, all eligible non-EU applicants will be considered for the scholarship as part of their academic assessments, and the scholarship will be allocated to students with excellent academic performance. So you can look through all the other different faculty that are interested in. For example, now if I'm going to apply to the Faculty of Social Sciences, so I can read through my own to see the eligibility. So now since we know about the scholarship and we know that there's no separate application for the scholarship, you just have to apply for your master's program. We'll look at how you can apply for master's program and some of the requirements. So UCPH offers more than 50 master's degree programs taught in English. So you can look through, you can click here, let me open it. can click here and look through the different master's degree programs that they have and select the one that you're interested in. PH. Now, if you want to apply for a master's degree at UCPH, please be aware of the following key dates. Some education have an application deadline both on 1st March and 15th October. Other programs only have an application deadline once a year. So let's look. If you want to, since this scholarship is only applicable for programs that are starting in September, we're going to focus on the application deadline for September intake. Now, if you want to apply for this scholarship, your application deadline is 15 January. If you are a non-EU or non-EEA student, you will receive a reply no later than 10th June. Now, for applicants from Denmark or from other EU countries, your application deadline is 1st March. But since it is only non-EU applicants that are eligible for this scholarship, your application deadline is in 15th January. So please take note of that. We still have some weeks left to 15th January. You can apply for it and just apply for it and prepare your application and apply for the program. Now, admission requirements are defined for individual programs, so you can look at the program you're interested in and look at the admission requirement for the program. So guys, make sure you check the English language requirements. I know that they have different English language requirements. So master's program taught in English do not require Danish language proficiency. However, you do have to show English language proficiency requirements for admission. Applicants are required to document English language proficiency and should expect to provide documentation in form of a language test, such as IELTS or TOEFL. Under certain circumstances, applicants can be exempt from taking a language test when other forms of documentation is available and accepted by the faculty's admission office. Exemptions from taking a language test are based on such information as citizenship, origin of entry exam, and in some cases, origin of high school exam. So you can check the specific requirements for the program you want to apply for. You can click here to apply for a program. So for example, to apply for African Studies. So I'll click on it. I'll click on the admission requirements. So you can now see you are required to document proficiency in English by either showing proof of English language proficiency level B for Danish secondary school. You can put your TOEFL, IELTS, or Cambridge Advanced English test scores that is no older than 2 years of no. You can put your TOEFL, IELTS, or Cambridge Advanced English test scores no more than 2 years old, or prove that English is your native language, or prove that English was language of instruction in your prior education at your bachelor's level. So if your BSc degree was done in an English-speaking institution, you can prove it. If you are coming from an English-speaking country, you can also use that to prove your English language proficiency. So guys, application fee for citizens from non-EU or EEA countries is €100. So make sure if you have to have €100 to be able to apply for this. There are some certain exemptions which I'll open here so that we can read. But if you want to apply for their program, you need to pay €100 to be able to apply, because that's the application fee. So let's see the exemptions from payment so that we'll know. Let me see. You can read this. They're just saying if you have a Danish bachelor's degree or Danish professional bachelor's degree, you don't have to pay for the application fee. Let me read it. If you hold dual citizenship and you decide to enter Denmark as an EU or EEA citizen, yeah, you can just read it. You can read the exemption, but for the most part, non-EU students will have to pay €100 as application fee. Now, if your application is successful, the application fee will be deducted from your first tuition fee payment that you make to UCPH. If your application is successful and you are awarded a tuition fee waiver, a refund will not be given. So if you get the scholarship, you're not going to be given your €100, but that's not a big deal if you get a full tuition fee waiver. Now, if your application is unsuccessful Or if your application is successful but you choose not to accept the admission offer, a refund will not be given. Now, a direct refund of your application fee is only possible if you have made one or more payment of the application fee without having submitted relevant number of application. So guys, I hope that this was helpful to you. You can just check it out. Remember that the deadline is January 15th, 2020. All for Danish government scholarship. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you need any clarification, please comment down below. Thank you guys. Bye.